Hi family, it's SpannFlower back again. Of course, today is kicks off week 2 of the NFL football season. Now, last week, of course, we did discuss some of the games, but I had a hiccup over the weekend, so I wasn't able to go through the games and talk about the games the way that I would have liked to. So I'm going to take a little time today to recap what happened last week. So that will be September the 7th through the 11th, the football games that were played. We're just going to go over the picks that Coach Sims and I talked about just for time's sake, and then a couple of the other scores and games to follow. So let me just recap. Okay, and I'm going to read this because the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions and me talking about football, I get all excited and flustered. So and let me just calm down a little bit, and I'll read what I said. The official kickoff for the NFL season was Thursday, September the 7th, 2023, featuring the reigning Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs, their world-class head coach Andy Reid, and their MVP quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Took on the Detroit Lions at home at Arrowhead Stadium. Unfortunately, the Chiefs were not able to hold off the Lions, and the Lions upset the Chiefs in their home opener 21-20. Now, I did predict that the Lions had a great chance to win this game, and they did. So big ups to me. So I'm one up on my predictions so far. So I'm really happy about that. Also, the game was, we had several other games that we featured to watch. Secondly, let me just give a little context to the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff is the quarterback of the Detroit Lions. He threw for 253 yards and a touchdown. And newly added running back, David Montgomery. Let's not forget about this. David Montgomery scored a touchdown late in the game and gave the Detroit Lions the win over the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Patrick Mahomes and that losing effort threw for 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Star tight end Travis Kelce was not in that game. So I know that the Chiefs, they might start slow, but they rebound. But again, they are beatable, as we can see that right now. So we'll just have to wait till the end of the year to see what's going on with them. So I would never count them out. But teams, you got a shot, okay? So now, as a special note, David Montgomery played 4 seasons with the Chicago Bears. Okay, he signed with the Lions this offseason. Let's see how this plays out. The Bears will play the Lions twice this year. Okay, so the Bears and the Lions are in the same division. They're going to play each other, so we'll see how that works out. They're division rivals. Also, the offensive coordinator, Matt Nagy, who was the head coach of the Chicago Bears, had a record of 34-31 in his 4 seasons, including an 0-2 playoff record. He is now the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. So, the division knows him well, and he knows the division pretty well. So, we'll see. He was fired by the Bears, and Matt Nagy was in 2022. The division is quite familiar with Nagy's offense, and Andy Reid, you have to come to the rescue because he didn't have a winning record against the NFC North. So we'll see about that. Now, another thing, let's talk a little bit about the game that happened with the Bears and with the Green Bay Packers. That was the next game that we picked on our schedule. And I said that I had my concerns, and Coach Sims and I were both concerned about Justin Fields being protected. Now, of course, Justin Fields did not. The Bear is just like he's out there doing what he can to salvage the team. Now, they had all kind of resources, draft picks, and all of that. And so we'll have to see how the season plays out. It could have just been nerves. It could have been whatever. We don't know. It's just one game, the first game of the season, so we'll have to see. But as a note, the Bears lost that game 38-20, and they have consistently been being beaten by Green Bay. So Green Bay really has their number. And I thought that with Aaron Rodgers out of the picture, that they would have a chance, and they have another opportunity to beat them this year. So hopefully they will. But I will say, for myself personally, this is just for me, I am not a fan of young quarterbacks coming out of college and starting right away if they don't have a seasoned coach and a seasoned staff and the stability of an organization behind them. Because like what Patrick Mahomes came out of college, he had an Andy Reid. Andy Reid is an outstanding coach. He deals well with quarterbacks. He knows how to coach a team. He knows what to do to win. So in that instance, I could see that. That's why Patrick Mahomes has had so much success. But I'm not sure about Matt Eberflus and the Bears. That matchup, I don't know. So we'll have to see about that. I just have to. I don't know. I don't know about that. I have to check in on that. We'll have to see about that. So, oh man, I don't know. I don't know. And I don't want to count my Bears out. I don't know. I don't like the young coach, and I don't like just that whole setup. The way I just don't like it. So we'll have to see what's going on with that. So anyway, the Bears did lose their game, and I mean it wasn't good, and I don't know. I don't know what to say about that, but I mean, I don't want to run my team down because I know that they are a young team and they have they're going to have to gel together and they're going to have to learn how to win. But again, I'm not a fan of young coaches and young quarterbacks. That's just coming fresh out of college. That's just me. I have to say that. So my apologies if I offend anybody. I'm not trying to do that, but I'm trying to be as subtle as I can. But again, we have lost to Green Bay so many times. It's just hard to, hard to, take that. So anyway, we wishing the Bears the best. They play next week at 12 o'clock against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Tampa Bay. So we will be watching that game because my games to watch are always going to be the Bears because that's my home team and I want them to win and I want them to make to the playoffs, NFC Conference, all of that. But, again, they are a young team and they have a little work to do. But also, I do have other teams that I do watch that I enjoy watching, and one of those other teams is the Dallas Cowboys. Now, last season, the Cowboys made the playoffs. They had a 12-5 record. Of course, they stumbled in the game against the San Francisco 49ers, and their quarterback, Dak Prescott, got drugged the whole offseason and still getting dragged. Well, I would say drugged. I say dragged. He's still getting dragged this whole season right now. So, we'll see. But the Dallas Cowboys had their game on Sunday night. It was the nightcap game, and let me just tell you, they beat the brakes off of the New York Giants. Okay, 40-0. You really have had to have gotten spanked to lose a game 40-0. And so I had to write these stats down because it's so unbelievable the way that they trounced New York. I wouldn't have. I thought it was going to be a closer game, but it wasn't. So we'll have to see. Let's see what's going on here. Mike McCarthy is the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Their quarterback is also Dak Prescott. The Cowboys defense against the New York Giants recorded 7 sacks, 12 quarterback hits, 2 interceptions, a blocked field goal, and that was returned for a touchdown, and all other things. The offense really didn't have to do anything in that 40-0 blowout, although Tony Pollard did have 2 running touchdowns, and then Turpin had a touchdown. Now, Dak Prescott, he didn't have any touchdowns because he really didn't have to do anything. So the coach designed a plan around him that would have him manage the game when the defense is so dominant like that, and I like that. Now, of course, the previous offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, is now in San Diego, and we'll talk a little bit about that a little later. So we'll see about that, okay? Now, as a note, the Cowboys had a 12-5 record last year, is what I said. Now, their defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, since he's become the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, they have the best record in the NFL as far as defense-wise. The defense is just outstanding under Dan Quinn. And of course, the rumor mill always is a coaching controversy with Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy. But whatever, as long as they win, that's all that matters. Okay, so the quarterback, the Cowboys rank 5th in dropback EPA and 2nd in dropback success rate. In 2022, the Dallas Cowboys had the highest pressure rate in the NFL. What I see they need to work on is their interior defense with the running situation, and it was a little soft in the middle last year, so I think they shored that up pretty much, and guys have come back healthy. So, we'll see about that. Now, as for the New York Giants, their head coach is Brian Dable. Now, he is a little fireball, and he had them in the playoffs last year. But this outing was just, I mean, I don't know what to say and how to say that they got beat. And now, I did predict that the Cowboys would win this game. And someone said that Saquon Barkley, the running back for the New York Giants, was going to run all over the Dallas Cowboys defense. That did not happen. Okay, Saquon Barkley was quietly off to the side. Daniel Jones was getting beat up every chance he got the ball in his hand trying to throw it. And I really feel like they should have sat him like in the third quarter because he was taking a beat. Then that's they starting quarterback. I was never really sold on him as their quarterback, but again, it's only the first game of the season, so we'll have to see how that works out. Now, a couple other games that I want to watch for, that I watched for last week, was the New York Jets versus the Buffalo Bills. Now, the New York Jets was projected to go to the Super Bowl and win all kinds of things and just high up there in the rankings because they do have a great defense. However, their newly acquired veteran quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, got hurt on like the second play of the game. He is out for the year. We don't ever want to see any of the football players getting hurt. And even though I don't like Aaron Rodgers as a football player, I don't care about that at all as far as football play, but just as a person, a human being, we do pray for him because we want him to make a full recovery and play again. I just didn't like him as a football player because he was trouncing the Bears every time he played them. He pretty much said he owned the Bears football team, and so, of course there's feelings like that, but nothing compared to, him being hurt and not being able to play for the rest of the year. So we don't ever want to see that, and I'm wishing him the best and a full recovery. However, now, the Jets defense stood up and they were able to win that game. Now, Josh Allen did not look good in that game. Hear me. He is getting a better pass than Dak Prescott. Okay? All of these new quarterbacks, they are, talking about them. They loving them. They're athletic. They this, but they're not winning. And he did not look good in that game. So I don't know if they didn't go preseason. I don't know what that was. But it was, no. He didn't look good in that game. And so the Jets won that game with the previous quarterback that they had, Wilson. And so, all that rigmarole went on over the summer, that kerfuffle with Aaron Rodgers and all of this and that. And they ended up with the same guy they had all before, minus the money that they had to pay Aaron Rodgers. So, hey, look, go figure. Sometimes it's better to keep what you have. You never know. So, anyway, the other game that I was watching was the Denver Broncos. Okay. So now Sean Payton is the first-year coach of the Denver Broncos. So, they are in a formidable division. They have to contend with Patrick Mahomes every year. Okay, twice a year. So, their first game out with Sean Payton as their coach, you're doing the trick play. So, what was that exactly? And what kind of chemistry do you and Russell Wilson have? It didn't look good. I was expecting more. I was expecting highlights. I was expecting balls being thrown in the air. I was just expecting much more than what I got. So they ended up losing that game, of course, and rightfully so. A trick play on the beginning of the game. I mean, what does that say? What kind of message does that send to your team? Do you all think you can't win? Why are you playing games? No, stop. Not feeling that at all. Now, another game that I watched for was Baltimore Ravens. Okay, so now, last year, Lamar Jackson was out. He was saying he wasn't hurt. The team was saying he was hurt, this, that. It was a contract dispute and all of that. But, of course, that got resolved and he got paid. Jim Harbaugh and his Baltimore Ravens. John Harbaugh and his Baltimore Ravens. I'm sorry. It was my Michigan team. Sorry. Did win that football game. And Lamar Jackson, he looked good. So hopefully he and John Harbaugh can resolve their issues and go on and, live happily ever after, and Baltimore can keep being the team that they've been, a running team and smash mouth defense. So we'll see. Okay, got you. Now, the last game that I want to talk about was the San Diego Chargers game. Now, that football team just paid Justin Herbert all the money in the world to be their quarterback, and he hasn't never won anything, and that's okay. He's doing what he needs to do to fill the seats, and they have confidence in him, and they want him to be their premier guy. And so, okay, got you. However, they have Kellen Moore, the ex-offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, as their offensive coordinator. Now, I had my problems with Kellen Moore when he was the Cowboys offensive coordinator, because at the end of games, or in tight games, close games, the play calling was kind of sketchy, and I wasn't feeling it. So here again, they in a position to win the game, and snatched defeat from the arms of victory. Crappy play calling at the end of the not sold on Kellen Moore as an offensive coordinator. So that's just me. So San Diego ended up losing their game. So again, I have my opinions about these teams because I've been watching and studying and watching their stats and doing all that for years. So I have formulated a group of teams that I watch for based on what the trends were the previous year. And of course, I will make comments based on this, and this of whatever I see that's going on in the NFL, because I'm an avid watcher and I've been doing so for years. Now, that is a recap of the games from last week that I discussed on the channel and in Sports Talk from September the 4th. So anyway, if you need more stats or more scores, you can post a comment in the comment section. I'll be sure to get the scores for you, or you get the NFL.com or wherever you need to. They will have those scores posted as well. But these are games that I actively watched and paid attention to the scores and saw what was going on inside the game. So I'm able to report on those scores because I was watching the games and paying attention to them, because these are teams, because I love the sport. And of course, two of my favorite teams were playing. So of course, I had to watch the games. Now, family, week 2 is going to start off tonight with the Minnesota Vikings playing the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know which team I don't like. I like least. Probably the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know. But the Minnesota Vikings are in the same division with the Chicago Bears, which is the NFC North. And the Philadelphia Eagles are in the same division with the Dallas Cowboys, which is the NFC East. So I hope both of those teams lose. I know it's impossible, but yes, I don't have a dog in this fight. Either one of these teams is just, they couldn't have put together a worse game for me to have to call, or for me to have to pay attention to, because I'm not really interested in either one of these teams winning, because they ain't competing against the teams that I love. But it should be a good game because both of these teams were playoff teams last year. So we should have a pretty decent game on Thursday Night Football, even though, the Philadelphia Eagles barely won their game last week, and the Minnesota Vikings, they're the Minnesota Vikings. So we'll see. But right now, I just want to give a little ups to, the football world. Let them know, hey, look, SpannFlower's here. Yes, I had the hiccup last week, but what can I say? I made them, it wasn't good. So let me just look up something here and give you all some context here so we can get this together here. So let me just say, I want to give a shout out to just you all SpannFlower channel members. I love y'all. And I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in and sticking in with me. I really appreciate it. So, let's just give ourselves a round of applause if we can. Just, Well, we don't want to do that. Let me stop that right now. Yeah. Okay, let me stop. So we had lots of fun on the channel this year, and we'll be going over more games. Now, I am having an official kickoff on Sunday. Now, I know that I had to postpone that kickoff, but we are getting ready to party on the SpannFlower channel on Sunday. So, again, we will be having School Spirit Saturdays and Sports Talk Sunday this week. So stay tuned to the channel. If you like, subscribe and share. If you have questions, post comments. I love comments because I respond to the comments, just to let me know what's going on with you. Okay, so that's the end of our talk for right now. We'll be checking in with you throughout the course of the next few days on the channel. We got to get ready for School Spirit Saturday so that we can get out here and look at some of these high school football games. And then, of course, we'll be back in action for the Sunday football games. Now, also, it's not as alluring to have the Dallas Cowboys playing the New York Jets because I thought that they would be able to avenge themselves against Aaron Rodgers because he's been beating up on the Cowboys and the Bears at the same time. But obviously, that's not going to happen this year. So, again, we'll see. But anyway, for now, SpannFlower signing out. All right, love you all very much and stay tuned to the channel. If you like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.